Audio check. I guess I should have a window open to see if I can hear myself, huh? Twitch.com/PatriotView says we're live. Can I hear me? Can I hear me? I can hear me. Not very loud. I just got turned down. There we go. Not very loud. Cool. Alright, so we're live. This episode we are going to talk about I forgot. I'm just kidding, I didn't forget. You just don't get to know yet. History, of course. Um oh yeah, national parks, got another national park video in there, and government shutdown. And also trading prisoners with Iran. So stick around. I'll be right back. Going to make a drink. Hope to see you here when I return. It's time for the Patriot View, episode 21. Thanks for coming. Hopefully we got some people in here today. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to pop out that chat. I don't remember how to pop out the chat. I'm not very good at this. I don't know where my host's at. I don't know where my partner's at. I don't know where moderators are at. I don't know nothing. I think it's Monday. Pretty sure it's Monday. So we gotta go to twitch.com. Let's see. Yep. There's stream chat. Hey. Got a viewer in here. Let's see here. Turn that shit on. There is a way to pop this out, I know. Yeah, whatever. It can stay there. What's going on here? I think it's muted. Yeah, I think it's muted. Anyways, so probably have a short show tonight. Thank whoever has showed up here. Trying to find my document here to share with you all. I've closed that page. Fantastic. I'm really good at this. Here we are there. Sorry, I'm not very prepared. I wasn't really sure what we were doing tonight or if I was going to have anybody with me or not. Alright, so now I think we're good. I got most of this thing done here, so I will put the link in chat like I'm supposed to. Ooh, I'm talking as Patriot View. Document if you want to follow along, and sheet here. Just wait. There we go. Alright, that document's linked now. So, did a sound check, did our intro videos, same intro video views for a couple of months now. Am I redoing? I don't know. I don't have a ton to talk about today. I really didn't do much this week. Festival. Did spend $20 in ride tickets. $20 got. I have two kids. They each had to go on two rides, so it's like $4 to $5 a ride. That's absurd. Value of the dollar is gone. I had to bury a friend of mine's dog. Passed away. I had to get the backhoe out and buried her with her favorite tire. She loved chewing on tire. Buried her with her tire. NASCAR fantasy. I think I finished second. Put another like 55 points up on Cowboys in second place. So I'm pretty sure that's locked down. That should put me solidly at 400 points in the lead or more. The Packers pull out a win. I did not expect them to beat the Saints at home. That game looked pretty shitty all day until, well, shit, they went in the fourth quarter and it was 17-0, right? Yeah. Jordan Love with his first home game ever with a comeback win, so that's cool. Man, he looks promising. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon yet, but I hope I get to someday. The Bears still suck. They let Miami put up 40 points or something, or no, it wasn't. Miami put up 70. That wasn't against the Bears. Like, who's that against? I don't think it was against the. Let's see, NFL.com. They'll have a results page, right? Score. We got a couple games coming up tonight. One starting in like a half hour. We should watch football together. No alerts, no locations, none of that shit. Just want scores. All right, week 3. Eagles and Bucks tonight. Rams and Bengals later tonight. Doubleheader. 49ers put 30-12 on the Giants. Yeah, 49ers are looking good. Christian McCaffrey is damn good. The Colts beat the Ravens. Ravens always a good defense, but Colts, I think they got 5 field goals. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone. And 4 of them were over 50 yards. Pretty friggin' awesome. Don't know what happened to the Titans. They just suck at football now, I guess. But the Browns beat them. So Browns 2-1. The Lions, they're saying that they're not the same old Lions, and might not be seeing the same old Lions. 2-1. Beat the Falcons 20-6. Falcons beat Green Bay, so I think next week Green Bay plays Detroit, right? Green Bay 18-17 over the Saints. Jags lost to the Texans 37-17. I couldn't tell you anybody. I got a receiver from the Jaguars, but oh wait, it was the Broncos. They lost 70-20 against the Dolphins. 70. It's gonna be a whole hour of ESPN, I think, just watching them score touchdowns. Chargers beat the Vikings. Vikings fall to 0-3, so that's good news for the NFC North. Pats beat the Jets, which fuck the Patriots, whatever. Bills beat the hell out of the Commanders, 37-3. Seahawks beat the Panthers. Geno Smith up there looking good in Seattle. I remember Seattle. I've been a Jets fan. I keep telling you guys that, right? I remember when he played for the Jets, and I was like, this is not the guy. Get him off our team. And then he goes to Seattle and just fucking lights it up. Of course. Anyways, Cowboys lose. Good. Fuck the Cowboys. The Chiefs 41-10 over them shitty Bears. And the Steelers won. Shitty Bears. You guys suck at football. Cowbell Cody was going to join me this week. He had something going on. I forgot what he told me, to be honest. He texted me. Speedy can't be here tonight because he's got to get up early in the morning. Got some stuff to do, so our moderator's out. I had chat popped up. Oh, I know what happened. I maximized that thing to read. Oh, there we go. Chat pulled back up. So, yeah, just meet up there, Whiskey Dick. See you in here. Thanks for the viewership, the viewer time. Be killing some people with him later tonight, probably. Playing some Rise, Son of Rome. It's a old game. It's shit. It's probably 9 or 10 years old now. But gotta get a couple of drinks in me before I deal with him for the night. Oh well, we're gonna fly through some history here. There's a couple of big events I've typed out a little bit extra for history, but most of it's real simple. Just this is probably the shortest one we've ever had, to be honest with you. September 19th, 1676, Jamestown, Virginia was attacked and burned during a rebellion led by Nathaniel Bacon against Royal Governor Sir William Berkeley. Oh, wow, I feel like we've all heard that name. Sir William Berkeley. Probably one of the characters from Braveheart, sounds like. Oh, that was Robin Hood was Locksley. Definitely. September 25th, 1690, the first American newspaper was published, a single edition of of public occurrences, both foreign and domestic. Fantastic spelling, by the way. Appeared in Boston, Massachusetts. However, British authorities considered the newspaper offensive and ordered its immediate suppression. Sir William A Night Tale, yes. Oh, September 22nd, 1776. During the American Revolution, Nathan Hale was executed without a trial after he was caught spying on British troops on Long Island. His last words were, "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." September 25th, 1789, the first U.S. Congress proposed 12 amendments to the Constitution, 10 of which, comprising the Bill of Rights, were ratified. September 22nd, 1862, President Abraham Lincoln issued a preliminary Emancipation Proclamation freeing the slaves in territories held by Confederates as of January 1st, 1863. The original documents are stored in New York State Library and can be seen at this link. And I have actually looked at those documents. They are real-life scans of Abraham's actual I think it's 5 pages document where he says basically like, I'm going to do this. This is my mission for now. And then that later he actually gave the Emancipation Proclamation. But this was just basically him writing down his first idea that, hey, I'm going to do this. Pretty cool. Click the link. September 21st, 1949, the People's Republic of China was proclaimed by its communist. Yeah. I wonder why in all of the banning or all that when you stop going somewhere. Never go to Walmart again. What do you call that? Remember. Ah, it's right there. Anyway, whatever. Boycott. I knew it. Yeah, we boycotted Cuba because they're communist, but China's like our biggest importer, right? Or we're China's biggest importer, whatever how that works. September 24th, 1957. President Dwight Eisenhower ordered the National Guard to enforce racial integration of schools in Little Rock, Arkansas. In 1954, the United States Supreme Court had ruled that segregated schools were illegal. The case, Brown versus the Board of Education, had become iconic for Americans because it marked the formal beginning of the end of segregation. Years of change grind slowly. It wasn't until September 1957 when 9 teens would become symbols, much like the landmark decision we know as Brown versus the Board, of all that was in store of our nation in the years to come. The Little Rock Nine, as the 9 teens came to be known, were the first African American students to enter Little Rock's Central High School. 3 years earlier, following the Supreme Court ruling, the Little Rock School Board pledged to voluntarily desegregate schools. The idea was explosive for the community, and like much of the South, it was fraught with anger and bitterness. On September 2nd, 1957, the night prior to what was to be the teens' first day at Central High, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus ordered the state's National Guard to block their entrance. Faubus said it was for the safety of those 9 students. Sorry, I'm thirsty. First one of the day is going to go down fast. On September 4th, 24 hours after, a federal judge ordered the Little Rock Nine to begin attending Central High immediately, a belligerent mob, along with the National Guard, again prevented the teens from entering the school. 16 days later, a federal judge ordered the National Guard removed. Again on September 23rd, Little Rock Nine attempted to enter the school. Though escorted by Little Rock police into a side door, another angry crowd gathered and tried to push into Central High. Fearing for the lives of the 9 students, school officials sent the teens home. They did, however, manage to attend classes for about 3 hours. Finally, 52 years ago today, on September 25th, 1957, following a plea from Little Rock's Mayor Woodrow Mann, President Dwight Eisenhower federalized the National Guard and sent U.S. Army troops to the scene. Personally guarded by soldiers from the National Guard, I typed that up, fantastic. Soldiers from the National Guard and the Army's 101st Airborne Division, Little Rock 9 began regular class attendance at Central High. The full story can be read at the links below. The National Archives website has several online documents regarding the situation at that link. So they've got like tons of telegrams and shit from the communications between the president, the office of the president, Congress, not congressman, governor, and pretty neat to see. September 19th, 1994, U.S. troops invaded Haiti with the stated goal of restoring democracy. The operation began with the alert of the United States and its allies for a forced entry into the island of Haiti. U.S. Navy, Coast Guard, and Air Force elements staged to Puerto Rico and southern Florida to prepare to support the airborne invasion, spearheaded by elements of the Joint Special Operations Command, Headquarters 75th Ranger Regiment, followed by the 3rd Special Forces Group, U.S. Army 7th Transportation Group, which is Army Watercraft and Terminal Elements. I have no idea what that means. And the 10th Mountain Division. Also, a couple links there. History.state.gov has the government's version, and Wikipedia's got the public's version. So, difference on that side. Huh? September 22nd, 1996, Australian Bob Dent, a cancer victim, became the first person to commit legally assisted suicide via a lethal injection under involuntary euthanasia law. So this is something that I've often thought about, and like we watched the TV show House at our house, and they bring it up in there a couple of times about um, assisted suicide, and I'm for it. I don't understand. Like I pretty much feel as a whole we have too many humans. Like we we can't naturally grow our food anymore. All of our corn's got to be steroided and hybrided, and all of our meats have got to be steroided and vaccinated, and it's, we can't even raise enough food naturally for our people anymore. We're having to mass produce everything. We have too many humans. I mean, if there's 400 that want to not be in pain anymore, I don't understand the problem. I don't know if that there used to be a couple of states that allowed it still. I'm not sure if there still are or not. September 23rd marked beginning of autumn in the northern hemisphere with the autumnal equinox at 1:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The southern hemisphere was the begin. Day. It's not today. And it's stupid. Southern hemisphere. It is the beginning of spring. Yeah, there we go. So we're, flip-flopped, flippy-flop. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to this. It could have just been luck or something. When I was in 6th grade, my 6th grade teacher, Frank Laka, stood an egg on end on one of the equinoxes. I don't know which one it would have been. For like 10 seconds of the day. He tried it several times, and he knew the exact time. Like this says 1:37 a.m., so it'd be 12:37 our time. But he knew. But he got to stand on end for a minute. I don't know if that's, like I said, by luck or if that actually is something that could be repeated. But I saw it happen in real life. Upcoming events for veterans and first responders. So I'm going to get into the government shutdown here in a minute. But while we're at upcoming events, maybe I didn't put it. I don't know. Anyways, now would be a great time to check any local VFWs, anything federally funded. If you live near an army base, reach out. They have what's called FRG, Family Readiness Groups, or Family Support Groups, FSG, and those are for the families of soldiers who are either deployed or have been wounded or killed, whatever. But if you live near a base, maybe reach out to somebody in one of those family support groups, because our military is getting ready to not get paid. So if government shutdown happens, like they're talking about, it's going to happen. Those soldiers ain't going to bring home paychecks to their family, which means they're going to have, kids and wives and husbands, whatever, at home possibly without a paycheck. So they might need something as simple as food for real, our soldiers. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Veteran Spotlight. If all of my viewer could reach out to all the people that they know and see if they can get a veteran to give me a 30-second cut of them. I'm always looking for veteran spotlight videos. I miss having those for our break video. I like to give a shout out to just the regular people out there. Not many of us, not everybody gets to go to the Indianapolis 500 and wave the flag, or go to the NFL, the Super Bowl, and stand in the field and wave the colors in the field or present the colors or during the national anthem. Like, very, very small group of people. So if I can get us regular Joes a word out there, I'm gonna do. I'm already up on intermission. I'm already halfway done, and I don't even have to take a drink or nothing. So we're gonna watch this video together about the National Park Service. This is the 3rd oldest national park, the 5th oldest area. Remember, we talked about how national parks, like, there's national parks and there's national, like, military parks, there's national battlefields, all that other stuff. So this is 3rd oldest actual national park.
Ready? So much of Mount Rainier is a mountain, so it's very much up and down. And yet, the East Side Trail is relatively easy to access, particularly if you have 2 cars. and it's not that steep, and it's not a hard hike, and it lets you explore a really interesting area with lots of waterfalls and forest, and I think it's a trail that is more approachable than many people realize.
I don't know if that other video came through there or not. I can't hear my own stream. It's coming through you guys, but maybe it won't. I guess it doesn't matter now. Nothing.
It's different in the way that most trails in the park you're going to get some sort of sweeping view of the mountain or of a valley of some kind, whereas on the East Side Trail you were very much in the woods, and you were in the woods the entire time, and that created just a whole different atmosphere and a whole different kind of space. When you're in the woods, you have time to take a different perspective on it all. There's no grand sweeping vistas. So some of the time we spent examining some of the smaller parts of the forest. I really enjoyed that.
I think the Grove is really an interesting dichotomy in the park because on one hand, it is one of the most visited areas in the park and it's fairly structured. You know, you're walking along wood walkways and things like that. And yet when you're on that island and you're in these big trees, it really does feel like a special place where you can have these moments of sort of quiet reflection. And I think that's just the presence of the trees, and they're just so, I mean, awe-inspiring. It just seems to make people quiet. You know, it takes you outside of yourself.
Thank you to the National Park Service for allowing me to use all of their stuff is actually public domain, so any of you can use it. If your shows or rebroadcast it, I guess it's all okay. So that was Mount Rainier National Park. For more information on that, link document out. Also, everybody check out the America the Beautiful Lifetime Pass. We got some congressional activity or lack thereof this week. Congress is threatening a government shutdown. The Democrats spend too much money, the Republicans are too petty and too stubborn. Meanwhile, folks like me and you are over here asking what the hell we pay these guys for. They can't even cut. I typed in, they can't even cut the defense budget. I don't mean cut like cut it. I mean shape out. How about that? Shape out the defense budget. They didn't have any problem sending billions of greenbacks to Ukraine. Shutdowns happen when Congress and the President fail to complete a set of 12 spending bills or fail to approve a temporary measure to keep the government operating. As a result, federal agencies are required to stop all actions deemed non-essential. So, basically, they can't agree on what money to spend, and then they've also proposed like a bridge gap, whatever they call it, like X amount of dollars to temporarily get everybody by until we can finalize a budget, and they also couldn't agree on that. So that's what we do a shutdown. We just did this like 4 years ago. Stupid. But since 1976, there have been 20 funding gaps, with 10 of them leading to workers being furloughed, which is a fancy word off. Government work off because they get paid. What does this mean? This means that if our elected officials can't get their shit straight, that millions of federal employees would stop receiving paychecks. Some of them, our military for example, would still be required to show up for work because of their obligated duty. This basically means that the entire 82nd Airborne Division isn't going to walk off from Fort Bragg because they are required by their regulations to be relieved of any post that may be. Also, all military are still required to follow lawful orders from their superiors, so they're not going anywhere. It just means that this also means that all those military families who depend on their soldiers' paychecks will go without during this time, possibly even without groceries or childcare. If you live near a base, this is where I put that. If you live near a base, now may be a good time to reach out and see if you can help people. National parks may close, museums shut down, airports could slow to a crawl due to the federal employees' security and whatnot there. Federal aid programs, including the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, send aid to people and areas of natural disasters such as Maui may also be suspended. So now we're really fucking American lives. Food aid for Americans through the Women's, Infants, and Children, also known as WIC, program could be cut off for almost 7 million pregnant mothers, infants, and children. Not only are they going to screw the soldiers, they're going to screw the citizens of Maui, and they're going to screw women and kids. Awesome. Good job, Congressman. The shutdown, if it occurs, will happen on October 1st, September 30th being the end of the fiscal year and the end to any previously approved spending. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and VA payments will not be affected because they are funded through what is called permanent appropriations. Same goes for our senators' paychecks. That's right. The folks you and I voted into office are going to stop our government from operating and get paid to do it. On September 20th, Minnesota Representative Angie Craig introduced the My Constituents Not Afford Rebellious Tantrums Handle Your Shutdown Act. Cute, right? The acronym spells out McCarthy, who's one of the dickheads, just being way over stubborn about this whole deal. This act would stop pay for members of Congress during a federal government shutdown. According to our website, during the 2018-2019 shutdown, more than 800,000 federal employees were furloughed without pay, including 6,000 in Minnesota. So that's people she represents. So, she had a quote in there, something like, "If our federal employees ain't getting paid, then congressmen don't need to get paid." Her website can be found here, the link in the document, and the full bill can be found at the second link. section. I don't claim to be a Democrat or Republican, and I don't support the shutdown. I do support Representative Craig's bill. I even feel that it is deserved and probably long overdue. I don't know why we're just thinking about this shit now, but definitely if our soldiers ain't getting paid, nobody else in the fucking world should, as far as I'm concerned. There is no reason that our defense of liberty should work for free while our nation's most spoiled and corrupt live in penthouses getting fat off the teat of the taxpayer. Yes, you can quote me on that. I said that. That's all I got to say about it. I think it's stupid. I think it's irresponsible, childish, bunch of spoiled pricks up there. But I, for one, emailed my congressman. So hopefully you guys are doing the same. I always say, don't talk about it, be about it, right? Well, I did it. I emailed mine, so we'll see. I doubt Tammy Duckworth's going to do jack shit, but we'll see. So there's your call out, Tammy. Good job. America and Iran did a prisoner swap. 5 prisoners from the U.S. were exchanged for 5 prisoners from Iran. I wrote Iraq because I don't probably write that more often. From Iran. I don't know much about this ordeal, but here is what is public. The 5 people going back to Iran. Also, all of these names I can't pronounce. Ansari. I know his name because of Aziz Ansari, right? He's a resident of the UAE and Germany, arrested for conspiracy to obtain sensitive equipment, possibly being nuclear related. Kashani was a dual citizen of US and Iran. I wrote Iraq again. Shocker. Prosecutors say he used front companies UAE to buy sophisticated top-tier electronic equipment and software, and that this was to help make the central bank of Iran more effective and secure. Come on, what was this guy really exporting? A phone? I mean, I got my bank right here and it's pretty secure, so that seems pretty fishy. I think he's probably up to more than that, right? Reza Kafrani, a Canadian national, was charged in 2021 with buying 3 mass spectrometers and other lab equipment that are under sanctions and nuclear non-proliferation controls, which they can't just pass hands freely. The Justice Department says he arranged for the gear to be shipped to Canada, then to the UAE, and then on to Iran. Do you see the common denominator here? The UAE, the United Arab Emirates. I know we're real friendly with them over here in America, and UFC got having fights over there, and boxing promotions having fights over there, or whatever. Trillions and gazillions, if that's even a word, of dollars. They're the people who built their own island city, I think. Pretty sure. Next one is Amin Hazanjadeh. He is a hardware and software engineer, an Iranian national living in Michigan when he was indicted in 2019 on charges that he emailed a trove of sensitive technical data from his U.S. employer to his brother. Both of the brothers had worked at an Iranian company linked to the military's effort to develop cruise missiles, and had concealed his service in Iran's military, according to a criminal complaint. So if you ask me, that's all smoke and mirrors. I don't know what the hell any of that shit means. A criminal complaint. So if someone called the cops on him once and said, "Hey, I think this guy used to be in the Iran military," like, whatever. This is Kava Afrasiabish, a political scientist and author who was charged in 2021 with working in the U.S. as an unregistered agent for Iran. Now, that to me says motherfucking spy. So I don't know what an unregistered agent is, but to lawmakers and journalists, Asfar Zindabi purported to be a neutral expert on Iran, but he was on the payroll of Iran's mission to the UN, the Justice Department said. So he's on the Iranian government's payroll? Yeah, probably a spy. The 5 coming to the U.S. Terrible names. Sayamak Namazi, a businessman who was held in Iran since 2015. Morad Tahbaz, an environmental activist. Ahmad Shargi, who was arrested while visiting Iran. And 2 other people reportedly did not want to be named publicly. Biden administration said that the 5 freed Iranians pose no threat to U.S. national security. Duh. Of course you'd say that. That makes me question why they were really arrested in the first place then. If they're not a threat to national security, why the fuck do we arrest and hold these people? And also, why can't I pronounce any of these Americans' names? No one coming back to America has a traditional American name. So, were they really American, or were they like that one soldier that we exchanged who was really a Canadian? They're so happy, like, oh, this guy, welcome home, blah blah, and he was really a fucking Canadian. He wasn't even an American citizen. Or were these guys spies? Were they, formerly from somewhere over there, Middle East area, and then on our payroll? Most of the people. So this guy Shargi was arrested while visiting Iran. So he went there on vacation, or like to visit his family, or what? They're not really saying anything. You see all the details we have about the guys that were leaving. We don't know who the hell these people are coming back. I don't. An activist, an environmental activist. Probably not a whole lot of activist activity going on there in Iran. So what? What's the real deal with that? A businessman? No, that's just a fancy name for someone who's corrupt, probably. But anyways, Biden administration says the ones we released are not a threat to national security. So don't worry, we're just going to keep releasing spies and suspected terrorists back to their countries. All right, don't worry, America. It's all good. Also, we don't need to shut down our border. Or I think last week we talked about immense overcrowding of all of our border control facilities, and even Mexico's are overcrowded now. So that's it. I'm done. We got a 45-minute episode. I knew it'd be short. You can check out all of our past episodes on our YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/@PatriotView. And we also have a Patreon page now, up and running. If you can find it in your hearts and in your wallets to support the stream, at patreon.com/PatriotView. The link to this document is down here below, and that's it. Over and out. I'm not even gonna raid anybody because we just got one viewer. So, sorry, American Pride. Don't get my raid tonight. I know we made a tradition out of raiding you, but I think we're just gonna roll the credits and end it off. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you or anyone you know would like to be on the show, please reach out via Discord or email at patriottv@gmail.com. Veterans, if you need to talk, call a brother. Reach out to our team via Discord or call the Veterans Crisis Line by dialing 988, going to veteranscrisisline.net for online chat or texting 838-255. You are all invited to join us for NASCAR and NFL Sundays in Discord. Discord link is go. Thank you to Verdict for their music for our intro video. Shout out to Zach there. And the break video was courtesy of the National Park Service. That particular one came from .com/@Mount Rainier NPS. Don't talk about it, be about it.